Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to New Week Market Forecast, starting from the October 6th to October 10th, 2025. First thing first, from the fundamental outlook, there is a shutdown in the US government. And it's not the first time. The first one happened within 1995 to 1996 during the Bill Clinton administration. Then we had another one within that 2018 to 2019 during the first Donald Trump administration. Then this is 2025. October, we're having another shutdown in the US government, owing to the fact that the Republicans and the Democrats could not agree on the bill funding for October and the months beyond. So, because of that disagreement, the US government shut down. What could that impact be in the market? It's going to cause a lot of tentative movements, uncertainties. It's going to impact the market in different ways. So this week we have to trade very carefully. And of course, let's see what we have for the week and let's see what we can do for the week. From October 6th, which is Monday, we have high impact news on euro and Great pounds coming up, and President Lagarde will be speaking 6 p.m. Nigerian time on Euro, and Governor Bailey will also be speaking on Great pounds 6:30 p.m. Nigerian time. On Tuesday, there's no impact news. On Wednesday 8th, we have NZD coming up 2 a.m. Nigerian time, which is the official cash rate. We have the US dollar tentatively coming up FOMC meeting, which is not certain yet. On Thursday, we have the US dollar coming up tentatively 1:30 p.m. for the unemployment claims. And as you can see, this is also going to be tentative because the US dollar government has shut down. So if everything resolved before then it's a good opportunity to expect the news to really play out. But certainly this week is going to be very impactful based on what's going on in the USA. And on Friday, 10th of October, we have a lot of news coming up for our impact on AUD, on Canadian dollar, and as well on US dollar. But the Canadian dollar will be focusing on employment change and unemployment rate, and AUD will be coming up with the governor blocks who will be speaking 2 a.m. Nigerian time. And quickly, let's go into the into the technical part of the business. So starting from the weekly outlook on what we have here. Let's look at this. On the weekly time frame perspective, we have a lot going on there. We have a lot of ranging on the weekly time frame perspective. And to that fact, if we go to the monthly time frame, we're definitely going to see that at some point this happened to be a good zone for us to look for a sell moment, a buy momentum, right? Because this was actually a bullish side of the business, right? This was a demand zone at some point, expecting the market to actually break out this high from my last analysis on the fundamental outlook. But regardless, this is what we have now. We don't know what US government will say tomorrow, but let's keep it simple with what we have and what we can work with right now. So on the weekly, this is what we have. And then on the daily time frame perspective, since this is showing a lot of ranging right here and it's actually in a buying zone, so it's still giving us more of a buying momentum. And that means US dollar will be strong. But what is going on right now is suggesting otherwise. So which means we may not really be looking at more sell on this particularly. We may still consider a little bit of bearish momentum into the markets, whereby we can still have more bearish energy into the market into this way before we have probably when it's sorted before we have more bullish momentum on DXY. So currently for me, I'm still looking at this with a lot of caution. In fact, I may take Monday to look at how this wants to play out if there's going to be an update before I can know what to do. But currently with what we have here, I can still work with this, expecting more bearish momentum on the DXY on 4 time frame perspective. Nothing really important there than what we see on the daily, because right here, the sellers are much more in control. When you check, you're going to see the sellers are much in control. As you can see here, creating lower lows, lower highs. At the point that we're creating a shift on 4 time frame perspective, we have another momentum to the bearish side. Nothing much really going on the bullish side of the business. So currently, we can still wait for bearish momentum right here based on what's going on fundamentally in the USA. So that is that on the DXY. Quickly, we move to the Euro USD. This week, we're going to really through the caution as some of these currency pairs as well will be in a very dicey position, I guess. So we'll check through it and we see what we can get. So last week we anticipated a buy into this range before a sell, and it happened. It bought about how many pips? 79 to 80 pips. It sold about how many pips? It sold about 84 pips thereabouts. So I was not really available much for last week, but this moved a little bit as we anticipated, which was a good one. But let's check for this week. What do we have on the weekly time frame perspective? What is this showing us? All right, if you check this carefully, you're going to see at some point in time, I'm going to take this out. I'm going to take this out, take this out. Okay. So at some point in time, you realize that we have a bullish order block, a bullish fair value gap zone somewhere. But let's check this. Okay, on the monthly time frame, regardless, let's check it on the monthly time frame. You go to the monthly time frame, you realize that at this price level, we have a fair value gap zone, which is a bullish one for that matter. All right, expecting more bearish momentum into here before we can have a good buy. But that's a lot of movement. It's about 600 pips or more in the market. So that's that on the monthly time frame. But if we have to do that, that's just basically on monthly. But then let's look beyond then. Let's look for more than that. So on the monthly time frame, we have more bullish momentum below the current market price level. But on the daily, or let's say weekly, on the weekly, what do we have? On the weekly right here, we have a lot of ranging, just like the DXY on the inversion side, we have a lot of ranging going on here. These are levels I'm expecting the price to get to before we can have bullish momentum. But right here, market has grabbed liquidity here with what's going on fundamentally. Are we still expecting bullish momentum here? Really confusing. So we don't have much right there. Okay, I don't really see much here. There's a price level has been completed here, completed. So it's really a ranging one. I hope this week will not range that much. I really hope so. All right. So with this outlook, therefore, we have that bearish momentum creating that failure sweep right here and the rest of that. But then currently, this is not looking like we're going to have bearish momentum based on what's going on in the USA. So what could it be? For me, on the daily time frame perspective, I can anticipate the price to get to a price level like this again before we have movement. I can anticipate the price to get here or below, above it, regardless, above it, which is really, really dicey right now. Okay, because I am looking for more information on what the USA economy will look like before we jump onto this. But this is not really much of a deal. This is about 76 or 80 pips, which the market might likely break above it. But currently, seriously, I was looking for more sell energy. I'm looking for more sell momentum on the on the Euro USD. I'm looking for more sell. All right, that's that on that. On the 4 hour time frame perspective, it's really dicey as well. Like I said, it's dicey. Above here we have zone, below here we have zone, but currently the market is stuck in between. So what is that we're going to do? If you ask me, we really have to wait for Monday before I can pick more opportunities in the market based on what's going on fundamentally. But then we're working with what we have right here. So it's a good one that we can actually still wait. Let's see buy opportunity coming into this range before we can sell off this guy right here on the Euro US dollar. So for me, if you look at 4 hour time frame perspective, we have an awesome price level where we can see as a demand zone, which is here. All right, we can actually expect the price of the market to come there before I can look for a buy. This is the 300 pips plus. All right. So seeing the price coming here before seeking for a buy is not a bad deal at all. But what we make the price to come down is what we're not seeing yet in the market because of what's going on fundamentally in the USA. And when you use the trend line to see what that means, you realize that over the time we add some level of bullish momentum. At some point, we have this level, we have all of these highs higher highs and higher lows rather. So creating that, you see that we have series levels that have been broken on the trend line analysis and the rest of that. But we have a shift on 4 hour time frame perspective. So with this shift now, should we expect the market to continue dropping just like that? Well, let me wait. I believe in waiting more than shooting. So I'll wait more to see how this is going to react in the market because this is all we have right now. So I'm going to wait to see more bullish momentum before we have a bearish momentum. And of course, if we have that bearish momentum below here, I'll be looking more for a bearish momentum right there. So not really much on that. GBP pounds US dollar on the weekly time frame perspective. What do we have here? On the weeklies, that's also be ranging, really, really ranging. And if you look at what we have, there's no favorable gap to the downside that we can really anticipate the price to get into before we have another buy. So with that now, what buyers do we really hold in this market? We have the I taken out, we have the previous low taken out, we have the price coming back into to retest of this previous supply zone. And what do we have now? A bearish momentum for 2 weeks straight, and last week was a bullish one. So this is really dicey. Of course, it is really dicey. But for some reasons, we have to go to a lower time frame perspective to see if we have a better opportunity or a clear shot. And the daily time frame is not suggesting anything. So, but then something interesting right here is that we have a bearish momentum opportunity here. This is a fair value gap to the downside, and we can also expect the price to do something like that and do something like this. And when you check this, you realize that the market actually have about 120 pips to move into this range. All I want to see is how the market will move into here before I see some momentum. And rather, before then, the market would have stable, maybe. Yes, we could have had opportunity to see update on the US economy, government, and the shutdown thing. So we can have more insight on what to do with these guys, because right here, there's not really much momentum to either side per se because of what we have technically and fundamentally backing up with the event going on now. We have to be careful. But for me, I'll wait to see this happening before I take more opportunities seriously here. That is on the daily time frame though. On 4 hour time frame perspective, do we have anything of such? On the 4 hours, let's shrink the chart first and let's see what it looks like. This is what we have on the 4 hour time frame perspective. You can realize that the price has been taking this previous high over time. It has swept through this low, and the market is retracing back to where there must be an opportunity at a potential supply or demand zone. So currently, I'll be looking into this level right here. I'll be looking into this level, expecting more bullish momentum here before we have that bearish energy. So that is it for me on the 4 hour time frame perspective for this week on Great Britain pounds US dollar. And let's check what we have on AUD USD. Really not doing anything much. It's just really moving, but not really moving anyway. Like I said in previous weeks, that's my ultimate target is right here, regardless of the annoying buying and selling. So last week was a buy that was still within a range, nothing really interesting. On this particular one, on AUD US dollar daily time frame, you look at what the market is showing here, you realize that we only have some bearish movement, bullish movement all through Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, which made us to have a range for the entire price range of Tuesday to Friday right here for last week. So with that now, what are we expecting to see in the market? Is it to expect more bearish momentum from this price level to this price level? Because this is a bullish fair value gap zone here, or we should just wait and see if the price will actually take out all of this high and look at liquidity at this price level. Is it possible, or we just have to go to a lower time frame perspective? So for me, I will really not be looking for anything strong in the US dollar economy for this week until we have further information. All right. So with that outlook, therefore, I may just be looking for a price level above. So let's go to the 4 hour time frame. If we see, I'm not seeing anyone on the daily time frame perspective. Let's see that on the 4 hour time frame. What do we have here? And the 4 hours is very looking like inverted the shoulder, right? And when we have something like this going on in the market, there is nothing we can really look up to than to see more clarity if we're buying or selling. For me, I'm not looking for anything strong in US dollar, so I will be looking for more bullish momentum right here. What will the price actually go to? Let me check a 4 hour time frame. If I will see one, if I see one, fantastic. If I don't, then I move away. But of course, look at this price level here. It's looking a little bit juicy. Okay, supply zone, supply zone, supply zone. But this is not much, so it's not really interesting to me now. This is about 60 something pips, which is really small compared to the kind of bullish momentum I will be expecting. All right. And of course, the market could actually range. So in a ranging market, 60 pips is not a small deal. But for me, really, I'm looking for something more than this. I'm looking for something more than this. Around this price level, around this price level. So I will be looking for a buy momentum before a sell momentum on AUD US dollar as well. Okay, on AUD US dollar as well. So not really interested in most of this right here because what's going on is really tentative. Okay, the market on NZD US dollar. Can I check on this weekly time frame perspective? What do we have? On the weekly time frame perspective, yes, we had that bearish momentum and bullish momentum for last week. And above that, we still have the bullish momentum above, bearish momentum above the current price level, which is right here. This is a bearish fair value gap zone, and it's just about so many pips, about 48 to 50 pips to the upside from the current market price level to here. So basically, this is weekly time frame perspective. This is what it looks like to me. But let's check what we have on the lower time frame perspective. We're not really sure of anything concerning US dollar right now. because of what's going on. And above here, we have massive level. So if I'm going to really be doing this, if I really have to do this, I will be looking at a higher price level like this to look out for opportunities for a buy. All right, for a sell rather, for a sell. So this is as good for the short, the other time frame perspective. But what we have on the daily is more juicy than that. Can you see that? So on the 4 hour time frame perspective, do we have anything that looks interesting? Like I shared with you last week, that a lot of movement has happened right here from here to here to here. So we're expecting more bearish momentum as well to filling. And of course, the market is expected to go to at least a major demand zone before we can have more bearish, more bullish momentum in the future. So all of these void you see here, market is creating them definitely to fill them later on. As you can see, this is an example right here on the NZD dollar, which means even if the price get back here and they have to sell from here, this is about 280 pips, more like it. So this is actually a buying zone, but we expecting more buy before a sell, before it gets here to buy again. So basically, this is what I'm looking at. Or to make it clearer, yes, let me just leave it that way. To make it clearer, this is just a level the market can actually come to right here. But I'm seeing a better zone, which is here, because I'm not expecting anything massive on US dollar on its own in matter of strength. Okay, so for that reason, I'll be looking for this on AUD, NZD, US dollar. This is a buy zone. So let's keep it simple. This right here is a buy zone. On daily time frame, this is where we got this from. Okay, this is a fair value gap zone. But to reduce the plenty charts on items on the chart, I just have to remove it. But trust me, we have much more momentum at the lower price level. So what could it be now? Expecting a buy before we have a sell, then we have a buy later. That would be hit. Okay. So for our time frame perspective for this one, I really have nothing much than this. All right. We have a fantastic time on the daily time frame perspective right here. So my analysis remains the same. As much as we have that, we have fair value gap zone for a bearish ride also right here. So as you can see, like I said, most of the pairs on US dollar, they are really dicey right now. So this is also a very good spot we can anticipate a sell from after we have the break of all-time high, not all-time high, the previous high. After we had that break and the sweep of this previous structure to the low side, it's also possible that we have the price coming just inside this fair value gap zone for a sell right here. So this is also possible to see the price just doing this. And that's if they're not even having a gap in the market for the week. It's even possible that the market opens with a week, which is what's going on currently. So I just take this out so that we can have something more clearer on the charts. Right here, I'm looking for this momentum in the market on NZD US dollars. And that's it on that. USD card, nothing really much interesting. Go to the weekly time frame perspective. Let's see what we have there. This is an exact rate we have. I was looking for a buy right here at some point because the US dollar index on its own is on a demand zone and they move the same way with this. So that means I'm looking for bullish momentum right there. But with what's going on the US economy and government, I start to react to change in the event that we may likely have more bearish momentum. And if that is the case, then we may actually have more bearish momentum into a lower price level to test this structure. Right here, nothing is really sure. Like I said, everything is almost tentative now because we know what we're dealing with fundamentally. So right there. So with this now, I can actually wait for the price to do something reasonable. If the price comes and break below this structure, if the price breaks below here, if the price breaks below here, yeah, I can really wait to see the price coming to a level like this, and that will be better off for me. Okay, I can wait for the price to be coming to a price level like this. So, what does that mean? I'm not really looking into the bullish side of this for now. For what's going on, I'm not really looking into the bullish side of this because of what's going on in the US government. All right, so that is that on the USD card or weekly time frame analysis. But let's go to a daily time frame. Let's really check out what we have. On that, we have something like this. I can take this out, okay? I can take this out. So on that one particularly, we have fantastic bullish momentum for a couple of days and all of that. But if you look at the price level we have here, we have a structure here, which is which is an imbalance zone for a bullish momentum, right? And with that now, it means we can expect the price to drop into this price level, which is about how many pips? About 80 pips or 87 pips before we have more buy. But I'm expecting it to smash, because we have the previous high that has been taken out. Market retrace a little back into the range, but then it's nothing compared to where we expect the market to get into if US dollar is strong. But now that US dollar is looking like we have a lot going on there, we can really be waiting for more range here, or we have a sell-off below this low right here. So if that should be the case, this is another level we can be looking for a buy in the future. It's another level. You see the price tested it, tested it, tested it. It's also possible for the price to come back into this level now, into this level, and test it again before we have that buy. So overall movement is not the same thing with what will happen on the short-term perspective. So on the short-term perspective, we can really have the price coming back into a level like this. All of this play out is just a matter of time. So let's just wait and see the reaction in the market, and then we know what exactly to do as time comes by. So this is my outlook on this on the daily time frame perspective for USD CAD. On 4 hours, do I have anything? Nothing, nothing, nothing. It's maintaining a strong bullish momentum, right? And when we have a strong any direction in the market, we should expect a little bit of that opposite direction in the market. Okay. So currently we have that massive momentum, and then look at all of this price level here. So just like NZD US dollar, a lot of buyers happened before. Then we have something like this. So, well, let's keep this simple. Ideally, I was looking for more bullish momentum here. Okay. But what's going on? It's really important we diversify our buyers based on what's going on. All right. So the NZD, you see, expecting more bullish momentum on 4 hours as well. And when you see USD CAD, it has done a lot of bullish momentum. Now, what are we expecting? We're expecting a lot of bearish momentum on it too, on 4 time frame. So you see USD CAD, NZDUSD, you see, based on cost currency theory. So that's simple. That's my outlook anyways. Nothing really important than to wait for the market to play out its thing. So we're waiting, we're all waiting, including me. Bearish momentum for last week on USDJPY, and it closed as a bearish engulfing right there. So what does that mean? Does it mean we should be expecting more bearish momentum? If this is retaining a high level of bullish energy right here, then there's nothing to worry about than a brief retracement into a zone like this, into this trend line. And if it's unable to break it, expect more bullish momentum from there. That would be it on USDJPY. Seriously, that will be it on USDJPY weekly time frame. And if it breaks it below, that means we're expecting for more massive momentum, whereby if it breaks it like this, we can be expecting the price to do something like this and cover up till it takes out this entire low. But you know me, I don't do those kind of analysis, two-way analysis. I don't have the energy. I want to be clear. Either we're buying or selling, either we're hitting the take profit or we're hitting a stop loss. So let that be it. So for me, this is the weekly outlook on the USD JPY, expecting what? A bit of bearish momentum before the bullish one. Quickly going to the daily time frame perspective, what do we have? After this, I think I'm going to go. All right, on the daily time frame perspective on this one right here, we have massive bullish bearish momentum for like 4 or 5 days, 4 days consecutively, and only Thursday and Friday for last week we had that bullish momentum, which was a little, very little, very, very little. But following the price theory, if we have to deal with this following the trend line perspective, we may have more bearish momentum into this level. But as well, when you look at this, take a closer look. When you look at this very well, you're going to see a lot of bearish momentum right here as well. Can you see that? But it will make sense, only make sense if we expect the price to actually get into a price range like this. This is the fair value gap zone on daily, which we actually make it little better for a sell opportunity right here. So if it gets here, if it bounce, it's understandable. If it gets here, it breaks below, it's also understandable. So right there, you can match this idea together to give you a high probability trade setup. But for me, most of my biases will be determined more on Monday when market opens. So let's see what happens with the US government. Let's see updates from there, and we know exactly what else to do. But before now, seriously, I was looking for more bullish momentum for the price to get here. Right? I was looking for more bullish momentum on this. But currently with what's going on, a lot of things happening right there. I don't want to get stuck in between. So it's just good that we are realistic. If the government of a company of a country is shutting down, what do you expect to see in the economy? That's exactly what it means here. So we may likely have more bearish momentum on that particularly. We may have it. So particularly for me, I'll be looking for more sell on this. Just like I said on weekly, I'll be looking for more sell on weekly like this one. Can you see my weekly time frame? On this, I'll be looking for more bearish on weekly, whereby the price comes back here to test the trend line before moving. But even if you check that, it's not really much. So there's so much we have to wait for 100 pips. It's nothing. It's nothing compared to what we're looking for. So let's just keep it, let's keep it close. Let's keep it, let's be open-minded and let's see what the market will do for the week. But more, I'm expecting more bearish here, right? I'm expecting more bearish to break the trend line perspective. That is one. Let me just be clear. I'm expecting that to happen because of what's going on. Okay. Something like that. I'm expecting more of something like this in the market. Okay. That's that on that. And USDCHF, let's see what we have. USDCHF, weekly time frame perspective. I'm coming. Weekly time frame perspective here. Ranging, absolutely ranging. Nothing more, nothing. Just range. Since we had the price get here, we've been ranging ever since then. And that was a low of about how many years ago? That was a low of 2021, 2012, 2011, 2012. So currently we're on that zone now, and we are seeing a lot of range in the market. So currently, what can we do with this on lower time frame perspective? That's when it can have meaning. Currently here, nothing. Absolutely nothing. On the daily time frame perspective, we have the price doing back and forth of buys and sell, liquidity grabs, back and forth, and up and down movement. We still have a price being choked within a range right here. If you look at this, within here, which is showing more bearish momentum, right? And you can see lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs on daily time frame perspective suggests bearish momentum until when? Until the price actually breaks out of here breaks out of here, then we can have fantastic bullish momentum to the upside. But that's when the economy is really good for USA, but not now. We have more bearish momentum. So what do we do? We're looking for more bearish momentum right there. And you can see the price is at almost a low of about 2011, 2012 low. So what does that mean for USDCHF? Are we expecting more bearish momentum, or we should just anticipate something will be resolved in the USA and we have a bullish momentum on it again? So let's see how that play out. If that should be the case, then we should be expecting much USDCHF. We should be expecting something like this. Like we should be expecting something like this if the economy get better, if everything USA is resolved. But right here, nothing. It's looked just like that. So, for our time frame perspective, I won't see anything. If I don't see anything on daily, there's nothing I want to look out for here. Only an intraday opportunity. But even intraday opportunity should come with higher time frame clarity. All right. So as it is, I can only wait for the price to get to the upside. All right. But then currently, with what's going on, I can expect more bearish momentum. So we don't confuse each other. I just want to wait to see break of here, right there. Break, retest, and filling. Just like that. So this will be my outlook on the 4-hour time frame perspective for this USDCHF. The week is really going to be tricky, so we can just try as much as possible to throw with understanding. Okay. Good. Let's see, good. Okay, JPY, nothing much on this. Last analysis we had there last week was to see GBPUSD pounds JPY move into this price level before it sell off. And this was the target, and it hit the target before it started buying. Okay. That was a good one. So for this week, am I looking into this? I'm not sure. I just want to deal with this one and let's go. Um, Gold particularly, it's been on all-time highs. It's been creating all-time highs, shift, break its own structure, breaks its own record and all of that. But currently we have a lot of zones below the price level right here where you'll be anticipating gold to get into. but it's never going in there. As you can see, this is one of them. We have a fair value gap zone here. We have another one here. And we have another one right here on weekly time frame perspective. All of these zones are expected that the price can actually get to before we can have a buy. But look at what the price is showing. Price is not doing any of that. So currently, it is really important that we know how to articulate our facts and analysis and bias based on that information. On the daily time frame perspective, you're definitely not going to see anything reasonable for a sell. This is a massive buy. Too long for a buy, but it is not too long in the market because this is about 6,000 pips and market has created that successfully over the number of days we have here. This was 20th of August till now, a massive bullish momentum. So if you're doing anything on this, I would advise that you look for a buy opportunity. Is there a sell opportunity? Yes, of course, there are so many sell opportunity, but I won't jump into it because they're not reliable. All right, their opportunity, their potential buy opportunity, though, like the price level like this is a potential buy opportunity in the future, whereby if the market sells here, then you can buy from here. But I'm not going to short gold right now. I'm definitely not going to short gold. I'm going to leave it alone. But at the same time, you should know when it will rather buy and when it will rather sell. So you don't jump in anyhow. All right. Currently on 4 time frame perspective, it is showing nothing really much. Then we have all-time high, and we're still going to see more bullish pressure on gold going forward. So for me, that is it. If you look at the trend analysis, you're going to pick one or two things there that this is still looking very massive, bullish, and only if we have a bearish momentum we can have it for a short-term range whereby the price can just come here, revisit, and go back and go back. So this is my outlook on gold as well. I'll be looking for a long-time bullish momentum on gold, not to sell gold because I'm not seeing a bearish momentum on it. On the 1 hour time frame perspective, let's see what we have here. On the 1 hour time frame, it's not really looking different. Nothing really looking different here. Just that we have that massive bullish momentum, that we may have opportunity to see the price coming back into a range like this. And it's also possible we have a zone here, which we had before this level was taken out, if a value gap zone here, which is a bullish one. The price can actually come to that bullish one too. And it will take how many pips in total? About 370 pips in total for the price to get here, which is also possible to see a buy momentum from here as well in the market. So this is a 1 hour time frame though. This is a 1 hour time frame. It remains bullish, guys. This remains bullish for me. So as a matter of fact, this is the outlook I have on gold. All right, this is where we're stopping for this week. Thank you very much for joining and see you again next week. God bless you and enjoy the rest of the week. Trade with proper risk management and have a wonderful trading week ahead of you. Bye for now.